Hey everybody, welcome to the Nerd Dungeon. It's your boy Dre and your boy Smitty Rock. It is Wednesday, and you know what that means. It's Kliq Talks. But guess what? We're missing two people. Shout out to JC. We hope you feel better.
Yep.
And Bob. So Dre comes in clutch last minute. I honestly have not been home since about 2:00 today. I went to my old job, and it was kind of nostalgic to see a lot of the old teachers that I've been working with, and just a lot of old familiar faces. It was kind of sad because a lot of them are leaving. But it was kind of cool to just go through some of my old stuff, see some colleagues, talk a little bit about school, like the state of school, and meet some teachers that are very young but have a very impressionable mindset, like I would like them to have, thinking like me. So on top of that, it was like Roy was asleep. I had to get her up there so I can get my box, come back down. It's like an hour and 40 minutes away. So I had to drive an hour and 40 minutes. Then I had to stop and get soup for Meredith because she's not feeling well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she ate something yesterday. Hey, dime lo que, Christian. Good to have you in the chat.
Christian.
Yeah, literally, she was just not. She just ate something last night and was just like, it was done. Like, we don't know what she ate, for if it was lunch or dinner or just a bug. She just was not feeling well. She ended up sacking out about like 9:00 last night. So, and the baby fell asleep around the same time. And then Lana fell asleep at 10. I fell asleep at 10, like around, what was it? I was on the live till about 10:30. Then my PC just shut itself off. And then I tried to turn it back on, and the baby woke up. I grabbed her and fell like asleep with her. So that's been my crazy hectic last 24 hours. But y'all ain't here to hear about that, because I could talk about that stuff ad nauseum. Smitty Rock, my brother, how are you? Tell me what's new in the world of rocking.
Well, I mean, since Instagram was messing up over the weekend, Hey, Liz.
Hey,
I was not able to flex over the weekend to show the boys my pickups over the weekend, but I had gotten my Star Wars geek on in full fashion over the weekend at Awesome Con.
I bet. Liz just said it was great, and that's what you said on Monday. So I could only imagine that you were having a good show or a good time at the show.
Oh, it was a good, it was a great time. Good being at, I mean, it's like the 4th or 5th year Liz is gone with her sister and brother-in-law and nephew. It was my 2nd year going down with everybody. And it was fun. I mean, both years were fun, but this year they had a lot of they had a fair amount of Star Wars stuff with a couple of big guests and our authors. So one of the things I picked up is the I Am C3PO audiobook.
Nice.
Signed by Anthony Daniels himself.
Yeah, he was at what was it, ICCC? So this is like the 3rd con he's been at in the last couple weeks. That's pretty cool. Like, yeah. I'm noticing a lot of Star Wars people making the rounds.
And then I picked up Thrall Ascendance.
Yeah, Thrawn is for those of you that don't know, Admiral Thrawn is, oh my god, Admiral Thrawn is the blue-faced general from Rebels, probably considered to be like the 3rd most evil. And to get that book autographed by him is pretty freaking rad. Yeah. I liked Admiral Thrawn. He's one of my favorite villains next to the Grand Inquisitor. Like as far as when you look at like non-Sith, like Vader, like Dooku, Grievous, Maul, Palpatine. You look at those, like if you look at Thrawn and the Grand Inquisitor, those are like my top two favorites in that. And I bet they made a lot of money, Liz. Guaranteed. We know that you got that signed last year. Come on now. Oh, it's Moff Gideon. Oh, shit. He met with Giancarlo Esposito. That's my dude.
Yeah, this is not Lando.
I'm sorry. I'm brown. I saw a brown box until I saw Moff Gideon. That's fire, bro. Moff Gideon's freaking dude. Giancarlo Esposito is the freaking man. Eddie, que lo que?
Yeah, he was very cool, and he was really cool when Liz's nephew and brother-in-law finally got up to him. I used the medical disability and jumped the line and got mine quickly, and they had to wait the full they had the full sessions for both Anthony Daniels and Giancarlo. So yeah, they but he was really cool. He did a picture with they paid for the autograph and the selfie, and he did selfies with Joe by himself with him, and then one with with both Scott and Joe.
That's cool. That's very cool.
But initially he pushed Scott away. He's like, nope, I'm doing one with this guy.
I would love to meet him. I am a huge fan of Giancarlo. I would love to have him actually sign two things that are obscure, like one obscure thing and then like one really cool thing. The obscure thing would have been like I would have gotten the Pollos Locos, like was it apron that came in Loot Crate and had him sign that from obviously Breaking Bad. And then I would have had him sign the Far Cry 6 cover of the game because he's the antagonist in Far Cry 6. So, Liz, I saw you just sent me something on Facebook. I got to take a look at it in a sec.
Yeah, she probably sent you a copy of the pictures.
Oh, yeah, she sent me both of them. I have two pictures already sitting on my phone I got to look at.
I mean, and man. Anthony Daniels was the same. I mean, both. I have to give it to both of these guys. I mean, from a fan perspective, I mean, especially like Anthony Daniels, just how long he's been associated with the franchise and the amount of fans that they are dealing with.
He should be the new Ricardo Montalban.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, he was super cool. I mean, what was wild is there was a little girl in line just behind me, and she had a C-3PO dress on. And when he came out and he was looking at the line and everybody initially, before he even started sitting down and stuff, he pointed and showed his wife, pointed the girl out to his wife with the C-3PO dress because he liked it so much. And it was so cute because the girl was just beaming.
Of course, you got to do things like that. I feel like if you go out of your way to cosplay or wear something that is obvious to the character, and it's not like in a lewd way, but like in a way of honoring, like an homage, paying respect, I think that is a cool way of just doing something. And I love when actors do stuff like that, or like the voice actor or whatever. So,
and then finally for the con, we have
SDCC.
Oh yeah, we got a good deal on this, but I had to go big if I was going to go and get his autograph.
Oh yeah, you had to. That's like 100%. Did they charge you extra? Because I know that a lot of people are starting to.
No, I wouldn't
do
have.
That.
I wouldn't have done it. But and I respect both of them. I mean, the Anthony Daniels was 120, and then another 10 to authenticate it with JCS, because they were right there. And then Juan Carlo was 70. And yeah, no, they were straight. But last year, Carl Weathers.
Yes, Lando
Was
Calrissian. No, Grief Karga.
Yes. He had two different rates, one for photos and one for anything else, any premium items, which they considered a Funko a premium item. And I went up and then tried to, negotiate, right there and see, hey, I've got the, I've got the base right here, cash, if he's willing to sign it. They're like, nope, that's a premium. I'm like, I'm sorry, he's not worth more than a Billy D. Williams.
I mean, honestly, but that's like Undertaker, because Undertaker was charging $290 to sign an autograph.
Well, I mean,
and then he did $210 to sign a belt or tickets. So almost $500 you're paying to get Undertaker's autograph. Is that worth it?
And yeah, I mean, and what, in the last NYCC I went to, in what, 19, was the Hulk was there.
Oh yeah, Lou Ferrigno.
No.
Mark.
Yes, Ruffalo.
Yeah.
He was asking $400 for an autograph.
Well, Evangeline Lilly at Dragon Con when I went a couple of years ago, she was asking $300. Capaldi was asking $300, and I was like, Capaldi, you have a little bit more of a leeway because you're Doctor Who and you have some movie creds behind you. Eventually, Lily, yeah, you had Lost and your Wasp, but I was like, damn, I can't spend like, especially when Ric Flair was charging 50, Sting was charging 60, Tom Welling was charging 75. I mean, when you have other actors like Tara Strong charged me $40 for her autograph on a pop of Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, none of those guys, Ruffalo, any of those guys, none of them are worth that kind of money.
But they gotta try to make it. I don't know why. And I heard from what it is, it's the venue. Like the company that negotiates for the venue, they're trying to get the money. The venue's trying to make their money back. That's what I heard.
Yeah, but the venue's charging you the same amount that they charge at the booth, and you're paying the guy at the booth.
Well, no, because okay, so the venue pays the guy whatever the fee is. So, like, say Undertaker's like $80,000 to get Undertaker there, they get $80,000 and they pay Undertaker up front. The company does, the con. So what they do is to make their money, that $80,000 back, they have to like charge you a ticket price that makes it fair. Like when my best friend, when Nicole, you guys have known her, my sister, she bought me Dave Bautista and Palm Clementif, which, if you know, they're Mantis and obviously Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy. They were going to be at Raleigh SuperCon. I lost my mind. I was like, yes. She's like, your birthday gift. It was like a $300 birthday gift to get both those autographs and a picture with them. So I was
but all right, but that's 2 signatures
and 2 pictures.
Exactly. That is, for that price, that's one thing, because the pictures are usually 100, anywhere from 70 to 100, depending on the guest, and the autographs, depending on the celebrity, can range. I mean, like we were saying, there's a ton. I mean, there's a wide range of what they'll charge. But I mean, honestly, right now, I'm looking through. Yeah. The Anthony Daniels has been the most expensive one I've paid for. And I didn't have a problem paying the 120 because of who he is.
Well, I mean, again, like Eddie said it here. Yo, Flick Picks, que lo que? Eddie said that Taker's worth that, and I agree. But if that's like the only like signature you're getting, then it's worth it. But if you budget $500 to get a couple of autographs and pictures, but like you're gonna spend it all on one or maybe two, you get burned.
I mean, Taker is a legend. Yes. Is he worth 290? Not to me.
For $290, I'd get his signature. That'd be
I'm
the
not
only one I'm
willing.
getting.
I'm
but
not
he'd be
willing to
worth
pay it for him. I'm just not.
Is there a person you would pay that much money for up front? Like you'd buy like an autograph for? I'm curious. Anybody in the chat, what would be the highest price you would pay to get an autograph of like your celebrity, and who'd be the celebrity? Because for me, I guarantee you, if I had to pick like at least one or two celebrities that I would want. Sorry, Rory she wants a French fry. She's like, fry. She had a rough day today. She was not happy. If it was me, there are probably an actor and an actress I would pay top dollar to get their signatures. The first one would, and I wouldn't say actor, it'd be wrestler. It'd be Bret the Hitman Hart. I know he rarely leaves Calgary, and when he's in the US, he doesn't do a whole lot of signatures. And if he does, I would get his and pay for it on a title belt. And the actress, I'm a big, and I know this is gonna date me, I'm a huge Mila Jovovich fan, and I've been in love with her since Blue Lagoon, and I have seen every movie she's done, including all the shitty movies that she's been in, and I would have her sign me so I could get it tattooed on me. My wife even knows that. So bad that my wife knows that, but that's about where it is. So Eddie says that he paid $200 for Hayden Christensen and $150 for Cena. Now Hayden Christensen, I've heard, because my friend Daniel at Celebration a few years ago when it was in Orlando, he went and got Hayden's picture, and it was his whole family. So it was his wife, his 3 kids, and him with Hayden Christensen. It was $200, but he actually signed for the $200. He signed multiple items for each person.
Nice.
So I felt like that was worth $200 when he told me he paid that.
Yeah,
because like you're getting a picture with him and your family, and then you're getting, like, I think Daniel had a T-shirt that he had signed. His wife had a poster. His daughters had the Black Series figure, and then his son had a Funko Pop.
All right,
which is rad. Like that's
so
cool.
I mean, right? So I mean, you get a picture and basically $50 a signature. I mean, you can't. All right, that is a deal. All right, 200 for a signature from him by itself. I wouldn't do it, but I would be more inclined to take one of my Vader pops and get James Earl Jones.
No, see that out, and whatever he would charge, I'd pay. He's another
even
one.
Even
you wouldn't pay if they said $500.
Age, I would be, that one would be a battle, an internal battle for me, because of his age and the fact that
we ain't got him much longer.
Yeah, I mean that's why that's why I was so hyped up to get Daniels, and why the Billy D one it means so much to me right now.
Dude, Billy D is like, I mean, you got to look at like he's been doing stuff, and he's still acting well into his 80s. And he was on NCIS recently, like a couple seasons ago. He was actually on NCIS. And when I saw him, I was like, "Oh my god! Like you are, woo! The time has not been nice to you. Like you're now starting. It was like Snuka. He's starting to show before Snuka died.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
he's starting to show his age. And I look at like Carl Weathers. He looks a lot better. But look at someone like Denzel.
Yeah,
Do you
but
think Denzel's 71?
how much younger is he than Billy D?
Oh, Carl Weathers. I wouldn't know that off the top of my head.
Right, but I'm just
Let me
saying.
take a look and see.
I mean, but once again, I wasn't willing to pay the premium for Carl Weathers. I'm like, no, you're not worth more to me. I mean, you're way below Billy D in my book. So why would I pay
Carl
any?
Weathers, 74 years old.
Wow.
And that's Apollo. Like, I would have to get something from Rocky signed by him, not Grief Karga. I would have to get Apollo.
Well, see, I had the grief.
No, you
pop
had
with
that.
it.
Yeah, if I had like Apollo's pop, like if they had put out the Apollo Creed pop
They
that
did.
they have now, I would have had. It wasn't out yet because they made it with the box with the America. They just released those Rocky pops. What was it? This past January.
No, that was the new line. They have a older set.
Oh,
Yes.
let's see, Billy D. There we go. Let's see how old Billy D is. Oh, so they got 11 years. Billy D. Williams is 85. They got 11 years on each other.
But I mean, so yeah, for me, yeah. Just because of how much I would still have a hard time justifying getting Harrison Ford or Mark Hamill, other than the fact that they rarely sign.
True.
So getting the opportunity to get either of them to sign a pop would be huge. So, but then again, I would also end up. I mean, I've got a hand pop tucked away somewhere in the second bedroom. But
Storage.
it's not the the big one. I mean, so then you're going to be, if you get that opportunity, then you're putting out another small bundle going after a pop worthy of putting said signature on.
See, I would if it was me, I think my struggle would be what would I get signed by someone like the caliber of a Mark Hamill, because I wouldn't want something Luke Skywalker. I'd obviously want something the animated series Joker, and it's like I don't like the Funkos, but would like I go buy like an animated figure and have him sign that. I mean, because again, like it's so difficult.
Would I take my
Mark
Mark Hamill T-shirt and have him sign it, because it's the Mark Hamill tribute. So it's Joker with the black suited arm and the
shirt.
black glove and the green lightsaber.
See, that's good. And Eddie, you paid $65 for JDF. I paid, I think it was the same price for a picture and an autograph at Raleigh Super. It was the first, and it's the joke I've always said. And I think Smitty's definitely heard this before, and Liz I know has heard it. I said that's like my first family picture with Meredith and Lana. It's like him. It's JDF in the middle of us with me with the cheesy thumb up. I have my thumb up like with the cheesiest shit smile on my face, like shit eating grin, like, oh my god, I'm taking a picture with JDF. I've idolized you since I was like a kid, and I love you, man. And I talked to him, even though it was brief. I got to talk to him. He remembered the message I sent him on Facebook when his brother died, because his brother died of cancer the same year my mother died of cancer. And I was supposed to go to Otakon that year to meet him because he was talking about Power Rangers and he was headlining the convention. And I messaged him on Facebook saying, my mom just lost her battle with cancer, and I wish I could have been there to just like kind of talk to you. And he actually reached out to me on Facebook. And when I mentioned that to him, he says, "I remember you." And I was like, wow, like that just solidified why I'm a huge fan of his and why anytime he's at a convention, I will try my best to get something signed by him and or a picture because he's just a really genuinely good dude. Who's JDF? Jason David Frank, the Green Ranger, Liz. That is like he is the whenever anybody calls him, and then he just had a movie. He just finished his movie, and supposedly in the movie there's a cameo with Amy Jo Johnson, who is absolutely beautiful. I don't care how old she is gorgeous. My wife knows it.
You've seen a cameo by him, Liz.
What up, Big Pics?
And Liz knows why I'm cracking up because, I mean, all right, and I'll say this: Liz's wrestling friends that she's known and done podcasts with and does the fantasy league with, those group of guys are incredible and fantastic. They've gotten her on two different occasions cameos by Christian, who is her by far, hands down, favorite wrestler ever.
Captain Charisma.
And those cameos were great. Her sister got her husband James a cameo by JDF. Half of it was an ad for his next upcoming project.
I wouldn't care. I'd be happy.
I was like, this is such compared to what like Christian's done and some other ones.
Thank you, Liz. I'll totally love to check that out.
Oh, it's bad. I'm like, I mean, and this is compared. And I'm comparing this to some of the V shouts that Bob's gotten, which we know V shouts are notorious for being super short and in some cases,
Britt Baker. Need we say the Britt Baker one that we were all sad about?
Short. Hers was short, but it was better than some of them.
But Danhausen's was the shortest one he ever got. I feel like he got ripped on Danhausen's. Because Danhausen's was literally like 5 seconds long.
A lot of them are. One of them was like, "Hey, Bob, I just signed your picture."
But that was Britt Baker. I'll never forget that. He beamed because it's Britt Baker. And he loves
for him.
Adam
but
Cole,
baby. Other ones were like, others were just as short or shorter. But yeah, and if she sends you the Christian ones, his by far have been a couple of the best cameos, worth everything that they paid for him, because he was down to earth, and he had they had told him what she was going through. At one point with her mom being in the hospital and really sick, and it was, like I said, and
keep talking, Smitty. I got to get the baby apple
juice.
Those
were, like I said, those guys were, they just, what they did for her, was great. But,
I'm funny.
Oh yeah, and she also got Matt Hardy, as she said in the chat. But no, and like I said, both Juan Carlo and Anthony Daniels, both those guys were just they were great with. They took a couple minutes with each fan. You were able to say a couple things, a couple words with them. they both appreciated you being fans, which honestly is really great when you're standing in line. I mean, literally, I mean, Scott and Joe had to stand in line. I mean, they spent probably 2/3 of the day almost in line between the two, between Daniels and Juan Carlo.
Hey, RG, what's good?
And you know, that interaction and it just taking a couple minutes with them made it worth it for both of them.
But that's,
So,
you know
I
what
mean,
though? That's something we've all said. If an artist, if a fan if an actor, actress, cosplayer takes that extra few minutes just
hey,
to
Art,
say thank you, or
I mean,
just to spend that time with you, worth it.
yeah, and that was one of the great things about both of these guys were they 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 appreciated you being a fan and appreciated you waiting in line to, so um yeah, so that was over the weekend. That was my awesome con. And then as part of our one of our early guests on our toy chats, Fixed Temple Toys, was on Booze and Buddies the other week, and he had one of his buddies out in the Portland area had done he's like a graffiti artist, but he had done customized a Glorble.
That looks dope.
So I got into a bit of a bidding war, but came out victorious with one of my infamous snipes.
And Bob is not here, so I bet you that he's happy about that. That looks beautiful, by the way.
So it's signed on the bottom, but yeah, this one I was really excited about being able to pick up that night. And because I had gotten one of his other pieces, his initial release piece, the golden black. Why is it?
Mezit.
Thank you, Kismet. Yep. I didn't go after one of the glow ones that night. But yes. And actually had just talked to Fixed Temple this evening. He was checking to see if it got in safe and sound.
Nice.
But was super excited that I was the one that picked it up, and he's saying that his buddy's probably going to be customizing a few more, which I had told him early on, right after we had him on, that I thought the Glorable was a great platform for customizing.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Which from that piece you can see, I've got a resin one that I can use to compare.
Yeah, you see, customization makes it pop.
Even better, I can pull so this is basically a 3D, plain 3D print, which you can barely see because of it being just white. But
nice.
you can see the face details a little better in the cast resin. But then you go to a customized where you get the mouth detail, the little bubble eyebrows, the eye details. So.
Oh, Liz, that you give me that, I'll totally give a call, because I love artists of color to talk to, and just it's I think it's a great networking opportunity for us, and like for me in particular, since I'm focusing a lot on the creative side of things that I'm doing. but it also is just a good way to have them get exposure, because a lot of these artists of color don't always have a platform. So most definitely. And Fig Picks usually, and I'm going to state this very, very honestly, they don't give you anything for waiting in line. Like if you're in line waiting, usually if you're smart, you have a person that's like your significant other or really like a damn good best friend. Because well, at least you know my taste by now. You know, if you know I like it, definitely let me, you know. But I'm gonna say that usually you get nothing, dude. I mean, I had, what was it? JR's cookbook when WWE The World was in New York, and I didn't get anything. The line was outside for in the winter time, and we were sitting there freezing for 2 hours outside. Then we had to wait an hour inside, and then Kurt Angle was there, and like the only perk was because Kurt was the WWE champion at that time, we got a free picture after we got the book signed because JR signed the book, and then Kurt took a picture with you. So that was like the one thing I have as a memory. And this is like before cell phone cameras were a big thing. So I didn't have a cell phone camera. I just like remember my friend had a regular Polaroid, and it's somewhere in my house that I have it. But yeah, you know, those are in the days of them giving you anything is pretty much like done. They don't really do anything. I mean, if you're waiting for like an industry booth, Art, when he went to NYCC last year, they gave out tons of industry shit for free. Like you couldn't sneeze at a booth without them going, "Chew, here you go, here's some shit." And Otakon was like that. One of my friends I used to go to, shout out to my boy Marco who lives here in North Carolina. He was all about the free stuff because he give it to his girls because his kids are young.
Yeah, but I mean, it depends on. I mean, a lot of the booths won't. I mean,
now it depends. Industry-based cons usually won't, but fan-run cons that have an industry person there, usually they'll look to give out like figs, like crappy figs, but figs. Sometimes you get like the high-end stuff. Like I know Good Smile, 1 year at Otakon was giving away one of their resin statues, or sorry, their PVC quality statues. That was like $800.
All right, yeah, but that's over the entire con, though.
Yeah, like you didn't have to buy anything; you just put your name in a raffle,
right?
And you
right, all right.
So
yeah, you might get some of that where you get a piece, you know. And Dougie was one of the ones. He won one of the booths. He won that that Superman comic, that slab, at the last NYCC, like that. I mean,
yeah,
so
Art just said it too. He says like because he goes to cons a lot. If you're waiting for things, like you're gonna get nothing at the autograph, like you know, unless you go to an exhibitor's booth. And that was in your videos, Art. That's why I shouted you out, because I remember you going to Viz Media and they had all those Mashal like pins, and that's what I told you. Scoop me up one because it was free of each one, and I know that you couldn't grab them from me. But yeah, like there a lot of the times that I remember going to conventions, I didn't walk away with a lot of free shit. I remember one year we got, what was it, the when Tokyo Pop was still around. That's how old I am. When Tokyo Pop was still doing manga, Initial D had just like come out as their first volume, and they gave the first volume to us for free. So I had that. But yeah, 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna get a lot of free swag.
I mean, and this is the kind of stuff. This is the kind of stuff you might get. You might get a sticker, or you might get a limited print, you know, or a decal.
Hey, Pimcat, Art, if you have those Mashal pins, yes, I read Mashal. I absolutely love the manga. If you don't want them, I'll take them off your hands. I would love those pins because I saw you get them because there was Smitty. He had to just spin a thing. And he was like, they're like, hey, you win this, go pick it. And he was just like, okay. I loved Art's face because he was just so like, thanks. He was like, oh, it's free shit. It's free shit. Let's go. So, yeah. I mean, I pretty much have the same reaction too.
I mean, and this is like before Red did the creatives, but he would give, you might be able to pick up like one of his character cards, which
And
were
that's what a
just
lot of artists are doing now too, are giving character cards away. Like they'll come up with like one of two, or they'll do like one of three cards, and they'll give them out at various conventions, so you
right.
can collect a set that are like exclusive to that artist.
Well, it just gives you like something of their, even if you didn't buy one of their characters, you get something of their character just for stopping by the booth, or to pique your interest, have you come back later in the con.
Oh yeah, my friend Eric did one of these big boxes. Like they don't do them anymore, because I know a lot of cons were noticing that these people were just like setting up booths all over the place. They were like those big box, empty box like grab bags. So like you pay like $50 to get entered into a contest to hopefully win a PS4 or an Xbox, and then they did like PS5s. So my friend Eric, I'll never forget this. It was the last day of Otakon, and he had put in like $50, and he literally, when he opened his box, he ended up getting a Mega Man helmet, life-size helmet that had the sound effects and everything. And he was like, "This is useless. I'm never going to use it." To this day, he has never been able to sell it. It's like the curse of a prize that he can't get rid of. So, and I know that a lot of cons banned those places now, because a lot of them were just like putting shit in boxes, like putting like plushes or like garbage figures and stuff that was nowhere near the value.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Funko mystery boxes are another thing too that they're starting to go away from, because of the fact that Funko ebbs and flows in value so much that you really couldn't narrow down a set value of what you're, because one day you open up a box and that pop can be worth $400. Then boom. If you Eddie, I'll talk to him. He lives here in North Carolina. I'll talk to him, and when you come up, if you want to buy it, he will gladly part with that thing.
Yeah, but I mean,
Mama?
but I mean, and it also depends on the con. So, like, I didn't see $7 a pop this year, but last year they were at Awesome Con. This year I didn't see them, but I didn't hit everything. But I mean, $7 a pop still does their mystery box at the cons,
and a lot of
so
like
will
local
Toy
cons.
Tokyo will definitely do it.
Well, again, Toy Tokyo. If Toy Tokyo does it, it's you're guaranteed, because they have their own exclusives.
They do.
That's like
but,
if Galactic Pops did it. Like Galactic had several My Hero Pops. If you're even remotely lucky, you get like a Dragon Ball Z or possibly a My Hero. It's not like a store exclusive.
Yeah, but I mean, Toy Tokyo, they put out a lot of. You get a lot of. Okay, I might have covered my mystery box price pops, but they have. I mean, they will put a few like big dollar ones, but they're few and far between. And you know what it is. I mean, it's a risk. But it's still fun.
Of course, it definitely is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show off some of my stuff that I got, because I was very surprised the box came today this morning at like 10 o'clock this morning.
Come on, Eddie. You won't do it one more time?
No, because he got burned in the last video he did with OG Geek. I saw that shit. He got burned. He dropped $25, and that value was not what he expected. So, but shout out to Eddie, because his box, we did a trade, and there was nothing Eddie had, but he went and did like the coolest thing ever. He bought some equivalent value of stuff that I was looking for to do the trade, and it came today. So we're gonna show off the first piece, which is right here, and this it is the Power Ranger Lightning Collection Zeo Cogs. These are great for army building, and as soon as I had it in hand, I want to get another one of these, for the fact that I want to have two, so I can have them paired with the bats for Ultron. Because I have this crazy scene I want to do, like of Ultron being like a mad scientist robot, like altering the cogs and altering the bats to be his slaves. So this is a dope ass figure. I'm so glad, and I'm a huge Ranger fan. So thank you, Eddie. And then the piece de resistance, I had to open them up and just look at them because those paint apps are important. But I got number 5 to the Thundercats collection. I have Linkso. Folks, y'all know I'm rebuilding the Thundercats little by little, piece by piece. And can I say, this Linkso blows the LJN out the water completely, folks. Completely. Just look at this back artwork from the show. Just the back of it. And then the bio. It like first off, I totally forgot how Linkso lost his eyesight. It's actually, it says it here. It's like he lost his eyesight from in a fiery explosion preceding Thundera's destruction. He attempted to join other Thundercats when they left, but was too late. Later, Linkso and his companions were also saved by a Burble ship and joined the Thundercats on Third Earth. Although blind, he developed his other senses to an almost paranatural degree and can sense things others cannot. Skilled fighter, he directs his attacks at his enemies' pressure points. I totally forgot that this dude did like the old like 5-finger death strike, like, and the figure is phenomenal. 2 head sculpts. The braille board is in the back of the box. You get 6 hands, 2 already on, 4 others, and you get this little doodad here. And a shield, because I remember they gave him a shield. This figure by far was one of the I need to get when I get Bengali, because officially now I just need Bengali and I will have the new Thundercats that were in the Watchtower, the Tower of Thundera on Third Earth. So I'm missing just Bengali, and he comes out, I think, in 2 months. And I keep forgetting the name of the cop, the space cop. She's on her way. And I forgot who else. And I think the wife is getting me Mumra, the Ever Living with Walmart, BBTS, the Big Bad Toy Store exclusive. So hopefully I will have that. So that's from Eddie. Christian's trade's coming in tomorrow, and I can't wait to show that off. You guys, if you guys tuned into yesterday's episode of Legacy Collectors with yeah, she keeps saying Fry. I love it. Like, she's so smart and just like, here. There you go, mama. So if you saw Legacy Collectors yesterday on the Toy Realm, shout out to Christian and Eddie, Serge, and our boy Fig Picks. I actually picked up 2 figures from GameStop, and one of them is the Wonder Woman from the Frost King Build-A-Figure McFarlane Wave. Absolutely, McFarlane's killing these figures now. I was mad at first to get out of them because I felt like I was just seeing repeats of the figures. Now it's like, if you have Mythic Legions, this would fit in perfect with the Mythic Legion. The sword goes in the sheath on her back. Now, again, articulation, it's McFarlane. Don't expect a whole lot, but it's a beautiful figure. And I showed that yesterday. And this is what I have of the Build-A-Figure for Frost King. So I have the arms and the chest. The chest came with Wonder Woman. The arms came with Batman. I'm waiting to get, because I pre-ordered it through Big Bad Toy Store, the Black Adam and the Green Lantern John Stewart, and that will complete the BAF for Frost King. Again, I'm not going to go into Mythic Legions because it's just a money pit, but for not going into Mythic Legions and having Masters of the Universe and other lines I collect, it definitely would go well with a fantasy-based photo shoot. So it's something I'm thinking about.
How would
Did I get this for $12.49? No, GameStop kind of. If you, you weren't in our video yesterday to watch it, but basically, I paid retail for it, and I was pretty pissed off because I did find out that Target had it for 12, and we're not going to go there. I know Smitty saw the video yesterday where I ranted about it, and I got kind of burned. That's why I will never do deals with GameStop. And if they do answer that video or that review I gave them at the store, if I get that $100 gift card, I'm gonna split it amongst my guys in the legacy collectors, and they can go buy things they want. I have forsaken GameStop. But I digress, because the other figure I got was something I was waiting for to complete the Scorched, which is the Spawn Avengers team, the Haunt. He is such a kick-ass figure. And I think the look of his figure is just awesome. And he was another one I needed to get my hands on. So, what?
Look at Arts.
See? I got to say it. Fuck you, GameStop. Fuck you, GameStop. Right up in your asshole. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. Watch this video and you can see how much I hate you. Hate you, hate you, hate you, hate you, hate you. Not you, Art. Hate GameStop. Because that store manager was a prick, and he could have easily price matched a broken box. A broken box. Whole, ripped cardboard. Told him I was an inbox collector for Captain America. And the damn asshole did not give me a penny off of it. And I almost walked out the store. If it wasn't because I knew I couldn't find that Haunt anywhere else, I would have walked out the store. Damn. That I'm happy for you, Art. Damn it, that makes me mad. I digress. There was another pickup today. I did go by my local comic shop, and I'm trying to find other goes. Obviously, with Pride Month going on right now, a lot of people have been very kind of hit or miss with comic book covers, and some people were very offended at the covers that you could get. I didn't care. I could care less. I support gay pride. I'm proud. Racial pride, whatever you're proud to be, I support. So that's how I look at it. But I did pick up some. I think this is all the exclusive covers I picked up for this week. Obviously, I was very happy to get this one. This is the Aquaman and the Monkey Prince from Monkey Prince issue 5, with the dragon in the background. It's a sea dragon. This one is, if you're not reading this book, you need to be reading this book, The Dark Knights of Steel. It's a fantasy setting with Batman. I saw, hopefully it will, we'll see. But this right here is the setting. The series is getting heated up. I've read issues 1, 2, 4, and I have up to 7 right now. This is the Valkyrie, if I'm not mistaken, the Valkyrie cover for Thor issue 26. Marvel's very hit or miss with these with the alt covers. I'm not gonna lie. This one I think was the best one for the all new Savage Avengers. I think this was their best cover of Cloak and Dagger. I absolutely love this cover artwork. I love that Dagger has got her hair done in cornrows right here. It's braided real tight. Obviously, for those of you if you're not reading it right now, they're doing a Jane Foster and Mighty Thor miniseries. It's called Jane Foster and the Mighty Thor. It's basically a story in the current Thor continuity of the comics. Yeah. Sorry, I got so excited. My dude's reading them. I got all the variant covers. All those covers I have.
Well, these are all the standard, and it's I picked up when I was at Third Eye Comics, in Lexington Park, Maryland. That's the one I put the video up over the weekend from. This is issue 1, 3, 4, and 6 they had. But they also had
that's a dope variant.
This variant cover, which I had to pick up.
Oh, I would.
For issue 1.
I would have. That looks dope. My store doesn't get all the variants all the time because I've been doing they got mad at me for a while because I would go like Tuesday night at like 10 o'clock at night and I'd be like, hey guys, pull me these variants, and they'd be like, shout out to Rebel Base, I've gotten better. So I go a week out. I go like every Wednesday, I look at what next week's variant covers are. And I know what the 1 out of 25 ratio is for which is the store book. So, but this I digress. I'll tell you a little bit more about that afterwards. This is the Peach Momoko, Jane Foster Thor. I love this cover. After I finish reading it, it's getting framed. I was absolutely in love with this artwork. I think Jane Foster looks good, and I had the Bishojo Thor statue, so it looks very much like that.
My boy Jesse, who's a huge Thor fan, he posted a new Thor book he got this week, and it was a badass cover. I mean, it was a sweet cover.
26 had variants, so it might have been like the 26 variant cover. I don't know, because I just wanted the Valkyrie cover. One of the variant covers was like $30, and I think it was a store exclusive variant, which was like Bruce Banner as the Hulk breaking the Rainbow Bridge, Thor, and it was like classic Thor. So find out which one it is. I'd like to know. This is the new miniseries, which I did not know that it was like this. This is fantastic. I might have to get 2 copies of this book so I can put them side by side. But this is what they call Dark Crisis. Dark Crisis number 1.
Look up Third Eye. They had a bunch of those, like different.
My store has more of these too. I just didn't pick up. I didn't have enough money to pick up more than one because I get my discount. I get 15% off for having a subscription box. So I picked up my books, and it was already like almost $40 for what I picked up this week. And that was putting back to hold my 2 DC Pride books that came out, one for me and one for the wife, because I always like her having those Pride books to use for her students. But this is the Justice League is dead, and the new heroes have risen up to take their spots to save the world. So this I'm looking forward to reading. This was part of the free comic book day reads, so you could read the prequel. Yeah, I have that. That's the what was her? That's Art Germ. Yeah,
that's the one he just posted this week.
I have like, that cover.
That's a cool cover.
Yes, he does some great work. This is a new mini series, if I'm not mistaken, that had 2 Pride covers, and then they had the generic cover. I went for this Pride cover because I'm a Batman fan, and I think it looks cool. It's called Multiversity Teen Justice number 1, and this is like a variant female Robin. Like, I love the look of it. And this is like a team of teen superheroes that are the new, like, I want to say Young Justice style heroes. So it's going to be, I never heard of them, but it looked as a cool number 1 to read. Then, of course, this was like, I had to pre-order this like 2 months in advance, and I'm glad I did because I got a copy of it. Fortnite did a crossover with DC earlier last year, and I got the newest one, which is right here, it's the Marvel and Fortnite Zero War, and it's bagged. It comes with a code inside of here that you could use for Fortnite, and some of the codes are for extra character skins, which are like cost money. Some of them are like weapons, like wall sprays, whatever you want to talk about. The last book I picked up, which I love, DC Black Label. I'm going to tell you now, if you like DC Black Label, this is the book to read. They do Rogues. They've done Black Label. It does like more of the adult, like I would call it the 17 plus, darker, grittier, sex, violence, drug use. This series is a horror series called Aquaman Andromeda. And the idea behind this book is that under the ocean, or in the ocean, in the deepest part of the sea, there is an alien ship that now has awoken. And when that ship awoke, it allows, like, Black Manta and his crew go to, like, examine it. But when they go to examine it, they find that there's a reason why the ship allowed them to come in. And it's like a horror series. Like, Aquaman's going to see things that are supposed to torment him. And it's a 7-issue run. And the Black Label, like I said, they don't come out every month. They usually like a bi-monthly, but they're solid. And Swamp Thing, I'm still waiting for Swamp Thing #2. I mean, that is such a great thing called The Green Hell. That's Black Label. This is the new Black Label. And then they did Rogues. They also did a Suicide Squad, but I didn't read that one. But if you're a fan of Suicide Squad, check it out. But yeah, like, those are that was the pickups for this week. I don't read everything. Like, if I had the money, I probably would read everything. But there were some books I did pass on. I actually helped sell a guy on a new becoming a Spider-Man fan, reading the new Miles Morales story arc currently, which is Miles going into the multiverse within his worlds, and actually his evil version, Salim, is taking over New York, and Miles and his team have to, in this alternate reality, stop Salim from taking over. So I like it. It's a very dark story. It's very different than what they did with Maximum Clonage. Again, I could talk. I mean, I'm speaking comic jargon because a lot of people, if you didn't read in the 90s Maximum Clonage, you wouldn't have known how Ben Reilly was formed and the separation of the clones from Green Goblin and all that stuff. But yeah, like, those were my pickups. I finally actually got a week where I was able to go live and show pickups. So yay. Yay for that. I'm not trying to turn everybody here into comic book fans, but I do know that we have several viewers that are comic book fans and have expressed, like, interest in me, like, talking, like, doing reviews of what I read. I'm willing to do it, but then I can't do this show at night. So it's like a catch-22. Like, the wife knew, I told her earlier, JC wasn't feeling well. I'm going to jump on and help out. But I didn't have time to do the pre-show. If I did the pre-show, I would have talked a little bit more in that half an hour, done a little bit more talk about it. But yeah, that's my comic book picks. Shout out to Rebel Base for just being amazing and always looking out for me as a customer, as a friend. And I look forward to picking up some more books. And look forward to tomorrow, because I'll be going with Lana to go see Jurassic World Dominion, because fuck the places that did not let us in yesterday, because we were not the only family turned away. So me and my daughter are turned away, and a guy with 2 little kids, maybe 5 years old, and his wife got turned away too. That shows how messed up, because they let people sit there from 3:30 to get in. So poopy on them. What were you gonna say, Smitty? I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, I mean, the only reason I picked up the those books was that you had mentioned that series before.
I mean, it's such a good series, dude. Like, I know you well enough to know that me telling you to read that as a fellow Batman fan, it's so worth reading. Like, the idea that the Robins, and you're a D&D nerd, so it's almost like, for being a D&D nerd and a Batman fan, the Dark Knights of Steel just marries the idea so perfect. Because like,
I gotta pick up a couple. I mean, I've got to find 2 and 5.
My store may have them, and you could always PayPal the store and they'll ship it to you.
So, but like I said, I mean, I saw them while I was walking around Third Eye, which I gotta give them props. I mean, we were down, I want to say, did we go last year or the year before? I think it was the year before we had gone into Third Eye, at that location, and they were a very small. It was a very narrow, small store footprint. I mean, they basically leased the store next to them, blew the wall out, and it's 3 times the size that it was 2 years ago. I mean, and you guys, I mean, you and the collector group, you guys would have loved it. They had legends, they had, you know, they the DC figures they had, handmade by robots, they had Funko, they had Nendroids, they had statuettes, they had a whole D&D, they had a whole D&D section, they had a whole aisle of D&D figurines.
Oh.
They had a whole Warhammer section.
Well, see, I'm not into Warhammer. I like the 1/6 scale, figures. That's my jam right now.
I mean, 1/12. Yeah, they had basically what would have been about the size of the old store was all just comics. They had graphic novels. They had a big case of manga. I mean, they did a really good expansion. I mean, I was really impressed.
See, I like hearing things like that. When I hear about a store doing very well and successful, it makes me happy, especially with comic books and local shops, because I will tell you folks, and I'm not saying this because of big businesses, just support local. I mean, if you live in New York, go to Manhattan, go to Midtown Comics. They're a local shop.
I mean, I would have to try to find, I mean, I know there are a couple around, but I would have to find probably one over in PA, because right where I am here in South Jersey, there's nothing good close to
Well, he had
close
the secret
to me.
stash.
Yeah, that's up north.
Oh, it is? I thought it was close to you.
No, that's hour and a half away.
Damn, but that'd be still worth it, because you actually go see the comic book guys. Like, you'd actually be able to talk to them, and they're actually really cool and quite knowledgeable. 1 second. Hey, Kenneth Bird, I'm sorry. Yes, hello, my friend. I love him. I love when you come in the chat. But yeah, I'm sorry that you have such a hard time finding a local shop. I mean, like, I know RG,
and I'm not into the comics like you are, and like Bob and JC. So for me, it's not necessarily as big a deal. I mean, it's just like I said. I mean, but no, this. I mean, like I said, this shop. I mean, their expansion. I mean, they were covering a lot of fandoms and a lot of stuff, and it was an impressive shop.
And you know what? I think that's what a lot of shops have to do now, because I have noticed that my shop doesn't take wrestling figures, but if they buy a big collection and there are wrestling figures in that collection, they'll let me know, and I get first dibs on them. I will tell you, hey, awesome unboxings. I've seen a lot of local shops that don't do really well, but like for where I live, we have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 shops. I have one shop. I mean, literally down the street. He's 7 minutes down the road. That's my local shop. That's Rebel Base. About 20 minutes away is Pennyworth's. And I don't like Pennyworth's. The owner never shows up on time. Like, it's owned by a husband and wife, and they're older, and they never come to the store on time. Like, I've been there at 12 when they open, and they've never been there at 12. And when I've gone in there to buy stuff, I've only bought one thing, and it was a rare Mezco that I got for retail, which was a Spider-Man Far From Home. Spider-Man Homecoming, because you can't find that figure, that Mezco, for less than $200, and I got it for $85. So I got it for retail plus tax. So I was happy. Then there's Spandex City, which is further out. That's about an hour away. And there's Heroes Aren't Hard to Find. And they're the ones that actually run Heroes Con here. And Heroes is really just a comic book shop. Like at least Rebel Base, they buy old stuff. They're like retro toys. They carry newer stuff, imports, comics, and manga. So there's something for everybody. Like when Eddie comes up to visit, I'm gonna take Eddie there because I know he'll go nuts because they have everything that Eddie and I like to shop for. It's very difficult for a lot of people to feel comfortable going to a local shop. But I forgot to add that I did have 3 other things. This was Chainsaw Man. If you're reading manga, probably one of the hottest manga coming out of Japan right now. It is gory, funny, hysterical. Absolutely love it. I'm gonna show this manga, and it's gonna be people are gonna laugh at me, but it is actually really good. And my wife has read it, and she laughs at it and likes it. This is Bada Bing. This is Cells at Work Babies. This is how your body works with the red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, and everything. And inside of this is basically the characters are the platelets and everything and the white blood cells, and it shows development of a baby. So you see the outside of the baby and like how the baby's reacting to like a cold. And like they'll show you like, oh wait, the red blood cells are going to get blood over here, and this is what they do. It is a great way to introduce kids to science and biology. There's a darker version of this because they have Cells at Work, which is the original series, which I've collected. Then there's Cells at Work Black. That talks about the darker things. Like it starts, and I want to say light, and I shouldn't say it like this, but they talk about like STDs in the first book, STDs. Then they're like the next book, they talk about like, oh, he's got cancer. Oh wait, this guy got, stabbed. Oh, this guy's got this. And it's very dark and gritty. And they recommend adult supervision for that book. And I could see why. So these are the 2 books I'd gotten in the mail. And then, hey, baby, how you doing?
Okay.
Me and Smitty had to go live because nobody else is here. So, and then I got this. She's good. She's running back and forth. She's in a way better mood. Slept all the way back from school. I got Dark Ray. I love this for the cloth goods. I opened this up last night on the show on Legacy Collectors. Cloth goods. I wish they did cloth goods on the skirt that they gave her here and the hood, but I like the whole outfit as a whole. And the dual lightsaber is cool. It's a little flimsy, but it was $16 on Amazon instead of the $24. Yeah, when Amazon does the $24 price point, man, it's I always get mad. I have read that a lot of YouTubers are starting to get flack for negative comments about where they're basically calling negativity amongst people complaining about the price points, the hit shipping issues, like delays and stuff. And I've reached the point where I'm just accepting of it. I mean, honestly, it just is what it is. We've been in this kind of slump.
Honestly,
Smitty, she's waving hi to you. Say hi to everybody. This is the lovely wife. I love her. She's my baby.
Hope she's feeling better.
Yeah, Smitty says she hopes you feel better.
Oh, thank you.
So,
but honestly, you guys need to be prepared because it's only going to get worse.
Oh yeah, and they already said the price hikes are going to happen again. I already was listening to the news today. They were saying expect, like Target, for example, is restructuring. And I wish Serge was in here because he works at Target, and I would love to pick his brain about this. But apparently, Target's actually restructuring how they're carrying certain things, and they're going to raise the prices on food and travel goods, and they're going to lower the costs on like furniture and stop carrying certain furniture in the store because they said that they had planned pandemically for pandemic sales, which was, people working from home more. So they were selling more furniture in store and shipping. But now it's kind of like all the warehouses are stocked with all this stuff. And they're like, what do we do? So they're going to cut those things and clearance them out. And they're going to raise the price on like shorts, flip-flops, makeup, food. When I heard food, I said, why would you raise the price on food? If you raise the price universally on food, that's a government thing, and that's where you start running into like the government doing that. So you gotta be careful.
Yeah, but the cost to get the food to you or to the store, it's just like they have to cover that fuel expense. And you have a driver shortage for drivers. So you're paying a premium for the drivers, the truck
True.
drivers. Anything you're importing, Japan or not Japan, China's been shut down for 2 months. So, and literally a quarter of the world's shipping vessels are at anchor outside of China right now. 25% of all of the possible shipping vessels in the world are sitting outside of Japan waiting for them to reopen. So now you're going to get another import tsunami when China finally reopens. All of your supply chain, all of your chassis, all of your equipment are all going to get screwed up again, just like it did when when we first reopened or started to reopen under COVID.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get the exact same scenario because everything's going to get out of position again. You're going to have port delays again in everything because as soon as LA starts backing up, everybody's going to start looking to offload anywhere they can get into. So all of the other ports are going to have backups. So and honestly, if you're looking for something, I'm telling you right now, it's June. If you're looking for something for Christmas for kids or something and you see it now, get it now.
Buy it now.
Because with all of those delays, there is no guarantee you're going to have anything or when a store will re-get it.
And it's funny because I'll use this as an example. My brother was talking about the PlayStation 5 because pretty much everybody in our family and my friends, most of my friend circle, all own a PS5. I was the one to get it at first release. My brother-in-law was. His cousins, our friends, most of our friends got him at release. I didn't pay the markup price. I got Target's price. I paid I think it was $600 to get my console, a headset, extra controller. No bundle deal, just bought it all through Target. Now, GameStop, Best Buy are making you buy into their premium service for gaming, $15 a month, or $50 a year, sorry. And they'll email you a chance to purchase a bundle for $789 that after the taxes comes out to about $830 something here in North Carolina. So I was like, holy shit, like for real? Like this is what we're reduced to? I mean, honestly, the gaming industry's taking a hit because they're still putting out stuff on the last gen console as well as this one. And recently there was talks about them not doing this. So there was like several games that are coming out that are just only coming out PS5, Xbox One, PC. And a lot of people are like, well, I don't have a PS5. How can I play it? So I already expect Sony to get a lot of kickback on this. Xbox already got a lot of kickback. And I know that Sony didn't change their service. So if you're not a member of the new service, that's if you were an older member, you were grandfathered in, like myself. I buy a year out. So I have my membership for a year for PlayStation Plus. But now they're going to be doing 2 tiers. And each tier grants you more exclusivity to things. I was like, just keep it simple. You don't have to do what Xbox is doing. Xbox got that Game Pass and it works. I have an Xbox One. I've used the Game Pass. It works. It's a good $14 a month feature. It's worth it. But you don't have to buy a game. You download it. You play the whole game. You delete it. You can do another one. And 90% of the games that are new are on Game Pass. Good deal. PlayStation has been using the same thing that I have been using since PlayStation 3. Why screw up the damn feed? It makes no sense. Hey, Nadia. But it doesn't make sense to me. But I'm not going to go on a rant about that because I could rant about that for hours about the whole concept of the gaming and what's going on in the industry and the superconductors and the fact that like building a computer now will cost you 3 times what it used to cost you because you can't find all the graphics cards and the ridiculous markups. But I will state this. If you guys thought the gaming industry and gaming took a hit, it's taking another hit because now more and more people are going away from gaming and are reading, streaming, YouTube, because it's what's
the cash
to do.
flow.
Exactly.
It's the cash flow.
And think about it. What do we got now?
People are going to, I mean, gas prices where they are alone. I mean, it's costing me what, almost 3 times what it used to fill up the tank of gas.
Yep, the wife said it was like $75 to fill up her car, and she's got a 15-gallon tank. I have a 12-gallon tank in my Kia, and it cost me at most $51.
I mean, so you look at that, and you multiply that against all of your other transport costs for all of your, getting the products to the store. Yeah, everything is going to cost you more because the stores have to cover that expense. They're paying for the transport. They're paying to get the stuff there. They've got to, if they don't cover it, they're going to lose money. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's, yeah. So yeah, a lot of people don't have the that disposable income now, just because of the inflation and the gas prices.
And it's only going to get, like, from what I keep telling people, and you said it best, it's only going to get worse. If you think that little bits of plastic, if you decided right now to take a break from collecting, I think the collecting industry won't take a hit because there still isn't product in the store. Like, people were saying, oh, my targets are dry from there's no Legends, and there hasn't been Legends in months. Well, Marvel and Hasbro realized that if we pump out 3 waves of Legends, one of them sucks, they take too big a hit. And that big hit was on the Eternals. There was 10 figures in that wave with a variant and a store exclusive. So take that into account, that you have 10 figures plus the Build-A-Figure, 11. And if you, in the movie, tanked in a lot of people's eyes, I don't think it did, but in a lot of people's eyes it sucked. So now you have that. There's a lot to take into it, I'm just gonna speak on it like this. Don't break your bank just to have plastic in your house. Honestly, it's not worth it. I've seen more and more YouTubers talk about it, that they're like, oh yeah, my wife lost their job, or I lost my job, and I'm doing YouTube just to kind of keep myself sane. But they're like looking at their collection and selling pieces off, and like, oh, I'm gonna regret it. I'm like, never regret it, man. If that covers your bills, that's a good thing. Yeah, you can regret it, but it's stuff. You can always get stuff
but
back.
I mean, yeah, it's, yes, I mean, I indulged heavily this weekend with Awesome Con. I don't regret it. I enjoyed it. I got pieces, I got signatures that I want in my collection, that'll stay in my collection. But I mean, Liz and I were talking. I mean, it wasn't a cheap weekend, between gas getting down and back. I mean, we were fortunate enough to stay at our sister's. So we weren't paying for a hotel. We weren't paying for meals. Although, I mean, I bought dinner for everybody the one night the night we went to the con because it was easier, and it was a thank you to Scott and Fran for for
Putting you guys
hosting.
up for the weekend. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And I think
so
that's a classy thing because I believe that, and you could tell Smitty that we're old school in that belief because a lot of people wouldn't do that, wouldn't treat their friends
no,
like.
that's the
To me, if
least
you
you
get a
can
free
do.
place
I
to stay,
mean,
you got to treat them to food, buy
yeah,
food, do
I
grocery
mean,
shopping, something to show your guests, your hosts, that you respect the fact that they opened their home to you, family or not.
I mean, and Liz will tell you. I mean, every time um we go down, I mean, Liz is buying, you know, Italian cookies for Scott, and we usually will bring bagels down because they can't get a good bagel down there, or decent bread, like not like you get in the city.
Exactly.
So, I mean, we'll bring that down because, it's, hey, we're coming down. So, but yeah, I mean, in this time, yeah, we had Tom and her best friend Greg, and they chipped in for gas. So, like, the three of us split gas um for the trip. But and thankfully we did, and thankfully I had calculated it out. But yeah, they're not going to be able to make the trip for the $65 I asked them to chip in each for gas. So they get out cheap for the trip down. They're not paying for the a hotel or whatever, you know, for the weekend. We had a great time visiting with them on Sunday, hanging out. We had a great time at the con. But, it's still they're hosting us. They literally had four people. I mean, it's the three of them. They literally over doubled the the people in the house for 3 days.
And that's really nice, though. Like you have to look at that. Like I would do that for if I had a bigger house. I would do the exact same thing. I've told Bob, like I was like, yo, like if you ever want to go to Raleigh Super, let me know because like you come up to my crib, we
Oh
can
yeah.
crash the night over, and then we drive the next day. But I usually Raleigh Super is one of those that like the wife will go to because it's over the summer, and with Rory, it's easier for me to take Rory, like, and we even booked a night. Like, we booked one night there. So, like, Saturday we're gonna go. And I told her, I said, it doesn't make sense if we leave at like 4 a.m. to get there by 8 to get our badges and everything, to go walk the con. I want to get some signatures. And I said, if Rory gets tired, and then where is she gonna sleep? We're gonna have to go walk to the car and pay for parking. I said, we go stay at one of the hotels, we get free parking for the night. They cover the parking for the night. And I said, if we want to eat, we know the cheap places in Raleigh to go eat at because my wife used to go. Meredith used to live in Raleigh, so she knows the area. So we know where the cheap eats are. We know where Roy has a place to nap, and then we sleep for the night, get up the next day, and drive back home. Like I said, I went.
And yeah, I mean,
I'm
and
happy with
after a day, I mean, after a long day like that, you're not going to want to drive. I mean, how far is the drive? I mean,
that. For Raleigh, from my house to Raleigh is about 3.5 hours.
yeah, you're not going to want to drive that after a full day at the con,
And Rory's not going to be
especially if
able to
you got
handle
up
that.
early, especially if you were up at 4 to make the drive up.
That's
There's
what
no
we were
way you're
saying.
gonna. No,
We're staying
see
at one of
that
the cheaper hotels, so it's okay.
right. I mean, yeah, but I mean, like I said, that's one of the, honestly, that's one of. I mean, and Liz is right. I mean, Fran and Scott, they're great hosts. I mean, they always put out a huge spread, you know, whenever, and I mean, but that's another thing. I mean, I had bought a inflatable bed because they don't have that. When Liz and I went down, they had a spare room, they had room for Liz. I knew they didn't have a setup other than a couch for me. I was like, okay, I got an inflatable bed. I'm like, if we're coming down either just to visit, or even if in this case for annually for con, I left the bed with them. So,
exactly. Here, hold it.
and they've used it. I mean, they used it when Liz and her brother went down too, and Tom went down. So, I mean, it's, I mean, that's the kind of stuff, I appreciate you putting us up when you don't really have to. But it's also family too. So, but, and like I said, I mean, yeah, Liz is right. I mean, they are great hosts. So, I mean, we've always had a great time going down and visiting with them.
Liz, I get it, because we're looking at getting a 4-bedroom for our house. We're looking to get a 4-bedroom house because the wife and I said that it's Rory has her own room, Lana will have her own room, Meredith and I will have our room, and then we were like, we want to have a converted guest bed office. That would be like my mother-in-law has. Like my mother-in-law has a guest bedroom in her house, and then she has an office, but the office could be a guest bedroom too. So we've been talking about doing that. And then like it was a place to kind of hide my collectibles, but we're not ashamed of it. But it was more, I'd rather condense my collectibles into one area where it's not like in a house. It's not like I don't like, y'all know I don't like mind displaying my stuff, but at the same time, there's a 2-year-old running around and she likes to grab shit now. And she, like, I gave her my dinosaurs to play with because I don't care about them, but an Android, a $500 statue I have, yeah, I'm gonna care just a little bit. So we're trying to keep everything up high places where she can't reach it, but at the same time secure it where it's safe. Yeah, I have family, Liz, honestly, I have family like that too. They're like, we don't want you to come over because we don't have a guest bedroom. And they'll, like, my mom's side of the family, they actually were like, they paid for a hotel for, I was dating this girl that lived in Virginia, my ex Kelly, and she came up to visit, but my mom didn't have a guest bed. She had a 1-bedroom apartment that I slept on the couch. And she was like, well, y'all, I'm not, it was like, mom was like, I'll sleep on the couch. And I'm like, no, mom, you're not going to do that. So my mom and my aunt, they were like, hey, we'll pay for your hotel. Like, we'll cover, like, I said, well, no, I said, we're coming up, we'll pay for half. Yeah, so we paid for half the hotel, and it was so weird because I'm like staying at a hotel in the state that I've grown up and lived in, and I'm like, this is weird, but I understood and respected it because, like, if you don't have a guest bedroom, it is awkward because you don't want people, because some people don't want you to sleep on their couch, or their house is small and they don't, where are they going to put your bag, and there's no extra shower. It's so many things, Oh no, I'm not gonna say that your sister's not, because my sister put me up when I went to visit. Shout out to my little sister when I went to visit several years ago when my nephew was born, and she was like, "Yeah, Dre, you can stay with me," and I slept on her couch bed for like 5 days, and I bought them food. I spent time with my nephew, and you do that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, but like I said, for me, I mean, buying dinner one of the nights that we're there, I mean, it's like I said, you're saving me the expense of buying, of meals, hotel, buying everybody dinner is the least I can do as a thank you for their generosity and for hosting us.
Of course. So I want to say 2 things because I feel like we're going a little longer because I felt like we owed this to you guys. And I mean, me and Smitty, we just haven't, me and Smitty haven't really hosted a show like this in a long time. I will say, if you guys, off the topic of just caring about your family and stuff like that, if you guys have not watched Miss Marvel, her first episode aired today. It bumped Kenobi because Kenobi was supposed to be coming out every Wednesday. And now Kenobi got bumped to midnight Thursdays, so you can watch it Friday, which sucks because I'm itching to see
just
episode
released
4.
her Thursday.
Exactly.
You already had Kenobi, and you already had people used to Wednesdays.
Yeah, so now, but Miss Marvel, I will say this: I enjoyed the shit out of the show. I think one of my Facebook friends said it best. He said, "Imagine if Disney Channel took like the Wizards of Waverly Place or any of those shows and gave it like a $10 million or $100 million budget and then said, oh yeah, and it's Marvel and you have a whole universe of backstory to talk about. And oh yeah, you're the voice actress of Miss Marvel from the actual Avengers video game that came out. So yeah, we're doing all this for you. Go have fun. It's very a lot of tongue in cheek. The humor is it's cutesy. There's a lot of teeny bop drama in it. Like it feels very much like a freeform style show. But I will say this. And y'all know I get up on my social justice box when I hear things like this. You watch this show, I will say it like this: there are several instances of understanding race and where race fits in and how race affects and bullying and all that stuff. Other than that, the show is solid. I think it's got a very cool, fresh coat of paint. And it's going to be a very cool addition to when the Young Avengers are going to be coming. So when we get like Kate Bishop, America Chavez, Riri Williams, because folks, they're coming. If you didn't realize it, we got America Chavez in Multiverse of Madness. We got Kate Bishop in her own show. We have Riri Williams coming out in Wakanda Forever. Shocker if you didn't know that. Just it is talked about. We're getting Hulkling at some point. We got the Speed and Wiccan from there. So there's several characters are starting to make their show up. So definitely watch that. I don't want to talk about it because I know that Smitty hasn't watched it.
I haven't seen Miss Marvel yet.
I will say Kenobi is fucking killing it. I think Kenobi part 3 was by far one of the greatest things because it showed Vader in a light that I didn't expect. And when I say I didn't expect, I like a hardcore villain. When I see a villain that gives no fucks and exactly, I drag you over the thing, not like nicely, like where he's like, where I drag you up and then I break your neck in front of your child.
No, he didn't break the guy. He pulled the one guy out of the window. The sun came out. He pushed the sun he force pushed him against the wall and then just went, bink. And I was like,
and then he dragged that woman.
Then he dragged the other. Yeah, then he dragged the lady.
I felt so bad for her. He dragged her for about like, I don't know, half a block and then kills her. And then like, and it like finds Kenobi. And I'm like, oh my God. So definitely watch that. Of course, I'm going to finish it off with probably the worst way to finish this show off, but I love it. The Boys. The Boys. Eddie said it best yesterday. He said, and I will quote Eddie, my wife's soul left her body in the first 5 minutes of the show. I said, holy shit, I screened that show because I know my wife does not like. I am cursed in the sense that my wife does not like action movies, like hyper violent action movies. I was blessed she saw John Wick with me because it was a date and I was like, let's go see John Wick. And there was nothing else in theaters. So she went with me to go see that. And she saw Stephen King's It because she hates horror movies. And she saw It Chapter 2 with me. And the only reason she saw that was because she knows it was a book. So when I'm telling you The Boys, Season 3, Episode 1, from 001 till about 600, yeah, I'm not gonna ruin it. You need to watch it. And I will say it like this. If you saw Boys Season 1 and Seasons 2, and remember the exploding whale, because we all remember the exploding whale. If you recall the end of Season 2, where we have Homelander sitting there like, I'm a superhero. and if you don't know what that is, he was pleasuring himself on top of a building. Putting all that aside, that didn't traumatize you. Season 3 is like, hold my beer. Good night, Liz. We love
Night,
you.
Liz. Hope you feel better.
Yeah, feel better, hon. We'll talk to you tomorrow, later, whenever.
Hey, Christina.
Hey, Christina. But yeah, like that. I'm just gonna leave it at that because I want to discuss this with everybody. I know I'm the least. I don't want to say humble, but I am definitely the least that holds my tongue on things, and this made me hold my tongue. So much so that when I talked about it yesterday, it's just so violent. It's so
it definitely grabs your attention right out of the gate.
Oh, it literally grabs your attention.
Yeah, it's wrong on so many levels, and yet
I'll just will say this: imagine
it's
a guy
like
Ant-Man
all right, you
put in a bag of cocaine and shake it.
The whale, you've topped. They put stuff in there that is just like, all right, they went there.
Oh yeah, no fucks given, 0 fucks given. They were like, oh, we're gonna go there. And he said it best yesterday. My wife's soul. The look on his face when he said it too, he's like, I looked at my wife and her soul just left. And he said the same thing I do. He's like, I screened these episodes before. I know my wife couldn't watch it. I just do. So if you have not watched it and you have a significant other,
I mean,
male or female that has issues with hyper violence, screen it first.
Yeah.
Then preface what they're about to see is going to be vulgar and very damaging. And if they can't handle it, tell them to leave the room. That is the best. That is the best and only way, because Smitty knows I want to talk about it, because as a guy, and this is as a biological male, if you do not go, if you don't do that, then you have no soul. I said this yesterday.
For me, I mean, I watched the first 3 that are available.
And then Friday at
this evening, right before we got on. And I mean, if you thought Homelander was a dick,
wait till he gives no fucks.
In season 2, if you thought he became a dick, and then this is set. I can't imagine where they're taking him this season.
You know where they're taking him? They're doing what they said, what Superman said in God, why can't I remember? Mike Turner, the guy who did Witchblade, drew the series. It was like an alternate story about where Darkseid didn't get Superman, but he took Supergirl and corrupted her. And Kara Zor-El ended up like his number one, and he ends up almost killing her in the comic books. And Superman goes straight ham because it was the 3rd time Darkseid has attacked his family. And in the animated movie, same storyline, he shoots and almost leaves her at death's door. And Superman says, Darkseid, I've always waited for the day that you'd let me go wild. And he puts him in the middle of the Kent farm field, and he opens that proverbial can of whoop ass. And it's just over. Homelander is getting to that point. I do like the fact that we get to see about Black Noir. Oh, excuse me. We've had his backstory, which was awesome. You find out Soldier Boy's backstory. and his connection to some of the key characters. Watch the first 3 episodes. I mean, if you have 2.5 hours, invest into it, because that's how long it is, about 40 minutes each episode. And they don't feel boring. Like they really
no.
They really bleed into the next one. So like you're kind of almost like, I need to see what's happening to get the idea.
Oh, so, no. I mean, yeah. I mean, and it's, for me, it's such an over the top series. I mean, what they'll put in, what they're willing to touch on, what, it's, for me, I mean, I love it because it's, like we said, I mean, they don't care. They'll go there.
Whales, we kill them. Drugs, we do them. Self-pleasuring on top of buildings, we do that. Glorified sex scenes, we do that. Oh, superheroes like destroying other things, we see that too. Oh, we see crazy fangirls, we show that too. So yes, check this out. This season definitely aims to.
Yeah, I mean it caught me up. I mean, it grabs your attention right out of the gate, and then it just continues on that. Everything they built up and messed with you on in the first 2 seasons. Yep, they're keeping it. They're keeping the train rolling.
They say, "Hold my beer." Now I'm gonna actually close this episode out on this thing. If you have not seen the trailers for 2 things, you need to. The Sandman, Neil Gaiman's Netflix series, comes out August 25th or August 5th, if I'm not mistaken. That trailer is out and it looks fan-freaking-tastic. So if you're a fan of Neil Gaiman, watch that series. It's actually going to be solid. And then the full trailer, was released at, I think, 2:00 today for Black Adam. And they also, McFarlane, upon the release of this trailer, blessed us with a full release of the figures that they are producing of Black Adam for the movie. Both of them look fantastic. I think he looks better with the hood on. Me and the Legacy crew, we're trying to figure out which is going to be the chase. Is it going to be without the hood and the lightning effects, or is it going to be the hood as the chase variant? And either which way, we hope to get both because they look amazing. So things that you guys are going to look forward to. I definitely hope you guys that have watched the shows that we talked about, put your comments below. Let us know what you guys are thinking. Bob went MIA, so I'm assuming he probably fell asleep. I know JC said he wasn't feeling well. He should be back here next week. I should have the pre-show up and running.
And I am going to, my little wrap up. I am going to put give the hashtag for
Monday.
For Mondays, which I won't be here for, but for the monthly giveaway, and in honor of season 3, episode 1, the hashtag is OMG.
Yes.
Hashtag OMG.
Now, hashtag OMG has to go in not in the chat window, in the comment section below. So don't spam like 500 times to one person doing it. It's only going to count once for you. But go into the video here, hashtag OMG, and we will put you into the drawing for Monday. Now, Monday, we have an issue. Zardapuya has a scheduling conflict. He just started a new job. He will not be able to go Monday. He's going to go Thursday. I told him I can meet with him Thursday myself. I know the rest of you guys are busy.
I will be traveling back, so I don't think I get in until late Thursday.
Yeah, and he's on the West Coast, so I'm going to be meeting with him late our time, early his time. So that's going to be me. Probably I'm going to see if I can get Bob in on that one. And Monday we will do the giveaway, and we will do a little bit of a catch-up session. I will try to talk to Bob. I might bring some of the guys from Legacy Collectors on, because we had them. We were on yesterday, and I told them they can come on when we're on. So if they're free, Legacy guys can stop on through. But I want to thank Smitty. Thank you for hanging out with me, my brother. It's always fun.
Yep.
And as always, my friends, watch your heads on the way out the dungeon. And as always, stay geeky, y'all. Peace out, guys.